Hello everyone, welcome to the daily morning podcast. Now let's see how the market have done in yesterday's trade. Sensex has declined by 0.21%, settling at 78,593. Nifty has closed in at 0.26% negative, settling at 23,992. Nifty Mid Cap 100 has closed in at a negative of 0.61% and Small Cap 100 at a negative of 0.39%. Now let's look at the gainers and losers of Nifty 50. The gainers are Britannia, JSW Steel, Tech Mahindra, HUL, Cipla, Wipro, while the losers are HDFC Life, BPCL, Airtel, M&M, Tata Consumer and Titan. Now let's look at the sector-wise performance. The BSE Realty was the highest gainer at 0.84%, followed by BSE IT at 0.25% and BSE FMCG at 0.10%. The highest loser were BSE Telecommunication at 1.15% negative, followed by BSE Financial Services at 1.03% negative. Now let's look at the market breadth. 1482 stocks have advanced while 2454 stocks have declined. Now let's look at the 52-week high and low. 72 stocks have scaled 52-week high like Arvind, GHCL Textile, Gravitas, Shakti Pumps, BPCL, Torrent Pharma, while 51 stocks are trading at 52-week low like Apollo Pipes, Landmark Car and Tattva Chintan. Now let's look at the fund flow data. FII with a net seller to the tune of 3,531 crore, while DII with the net buyers to the tune of 3,357 crore. Now let's look at the global cues. US market rebounded but got sold into. Dow ended up in a positive of 0.8%, S&P and Nasdaq ended up in a positive of 1% respectively. The confidence still remained weak. The Asian market showing positive trend after positive statement by Bank of Japan that if required the interest rate can be changed. We expect a positive start for our market today. Now let's look at the results which are due today. Aadhar Housing Finance, About India, Aditya Birla Fashion and Retail, Atom Investment and Infrastructure, Apollo Tyres, BASF India, Kaplan Point Laboratories, Chemplast Sanmar, Godrej Consumer Product, Gokuldas Export, Harsha Engineering International, ITD Cementation, Dr. Lalpath Labs, Lemon Tree Hotel, Neogen Chemicals, Pidilite Industry, Radio Khaitan, Safari Industries, Sula Vineyard, Varroc Engineering and Wellspun Corp. Now let's look at the result which were out yesterday. Lupin revenue was up 16%. EBITDA was up 50%, margins stood up 23%, net profit was up 78%. It has reported a positive result. Tata Power revenue was up 13%, EBITDA was up 22%, EBITDA margin stood at 20.7%, net profit was up 4% to 1189 crore. It has reported a decent set of numbers, neutral reaction for Tata Power. Bata India revenue was down 1%, EBITDA was down 23%, margins stood at 19.6%, net profit was off 63% to 174 crore. It has reported a mixed set of numbers, neutral to positive reaction for Bata India. Chambal Fertilizer revenue was down 12%, EBITDA was up 19%, margins stood at 15.2%, net profit was up 32% to 448 crore. It has reported a positive set of numbers. Gujarat Gas revenue was up 7%, EBITDA was down 9%, EBITDA margins stood at 12%, net profit was down 19% to 331 crore. It has reported a negative set of numbers. Cummins India revenue was up 4%, EBITDA was up 38%, EBITDA margins stood at 20.4%, net profit rose to 31% to 463 crore. It has reported a positive set of numbers. 3M India revenue was down 0.3%, EBITDA was up 20%, EBITDA margins stood at 19.8%, net profit was up 22%. It has reported a positive set of numbers. PI Industries revenue was up 8%, EBITDA was up 25%, margins stood at 28.2%, net profit was up 17%. It has reported a positive set of numbers. Linde India revenue was down 9%, EBITDA was up 12%, margins stood at 28%, net profit was up 38.8% to 114 crore. It has reported a positive set of numbers. Indigo Paints revenue was up 8%, EBITDA was down 1.4%, margins stood at 15.4%, net profit was down 16%. It has reported a negative set of numbers. Gland Pharma revenue was up 16%, EBITDA was down 10%, margins stood at 19%, net profit was down 26% to 144 crore. EIH revenue was up 6%, EBITDA was down 13%, margins stood at 25.6%, net profit was down 8.5% to 97 crore. It has reported a negative set of numbers. Bosch revenue was up 3.8%, EBITDA was up 11.3%, margins stood at 12.4%, 1%. Net profit was up 14% to 466 crore. It has reported a positive set of numbers. Fortis Healthcare. Revenue was up 12%, EBITDA was up 26%, margins stood at 18.4%, net profit was up 40% to 173 crore. It has reported a positive set of numbers. Fusion Microfinance, total income was up 28%, while it has reported a net loss of 36 crore. It has reported a negative set of result. Gulf Oil Lubricant, revenue was up 10%, EBITDA was up 23%, margins stood at 12.8%. Net profit was up 24% to 84 crore. It has reported a positive set of numbers. VIP Industries, revenue was up 0.5%, EBITDA was down 40% to 49 crore, margins stood at 7.7%, net profit was down 95% to 4 crore. It has reported a negative set of numbers. PB Fintech, revenue was down 7% to 1010 crore, EBITDA loss stood at 40 crore, net profit was flat at 60 crores. It has reported a decent set of numbers. We expect a neutral to positive reaction for the company. Now let's look at the stock-wise development. Government proposes LTCG tax relief for property owners by offering them choice of 12.5% LTCG without indexation and 20% with indexation. This remained positive for the real estates. Hindalco Industries, the Central Bureau of Investigation booked the company for alleged corruption in getting environmental clearance for coal mining between 2011 to 13. This remained negative for the company. Welspun Living, the company buyback will open on August 9 and close on August 16. This remain positive for the company. Tata Power, the company is to acquire 40% stake in Koluchu Hydropower for 830 crores and the company to terminate the global depository shares program. This remain neutral for the company. Cupid, the company will set up a new unit in the UAE to capture market share in GCC region. This remained positive for the company. GR Infra Projects, the company emerged as the lowest bidder for the transmission project in Karnataka. This remained positive for the company. Aurobindo Pharma, the company has US FDA approval for estradiol vaginal insert. The product is to be launched in 2Q FY25. This remained positive for the company. Suzlon Energy, the company bought 76% stake in Renam Energy Services for 660 crore. This remained positive for the company. Now let's look at the block list. Jadal's Wellness, Quant Mutual Fund bought 17 lakh shares and Therapist Care LLP sold 17 lakh shares at 2201.4 per share. Next is Acom Drugs and Pharma, Small Cap World Fund bought 25.84 lakh shares at 753 per share. Now let's look at the corporate action. Today is the extra record dividend for Infibeam Avenues, NTPC, Nuvama Wealth, Gabriel India 361, Bharti Airtel, Minda Corp, Castrol India, Tourism Finance Corporation of India, Eicher Motors, ESAP Small Finance Bank, Bombay Dyeing and Manufacturing Company. That's it for today. Thank you for listening.
Investment in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.